Hi, I'm Julie. I recently did Wendy Bailye's 50 Shades of Grey Felt online course, and what a joy it was. For me, to create is like as important as breathing. It's that important to me. And I have a background in dressmaking and patchwork and quilting. And I remember the day when my mum told me about wet felting, this thing where people lay down layers of wool, wet it, and then roll it hundreds of times to create felt. And I thought, who on earth would want to do that? But then I saw a sample of wet felting and fell in love with it and signed up to do a course. And I texted my mum halfway through to tell her I had a new addiction because this was simply incredible. So that was about 13 years ago. And at the point where I did this 50 Shades course, I felt like I was probably at an intermediate level of felting. I had done a lot of scarves that I had sold. I had felted a dress. I'd also felted a number of pieces that I turned into quilts and won prizes with them in quilt shows. But I felt a little bit stuck in that I was just doing more of the same thing all the time. So I did the course to learn more and to go to a next level. I loved that the course was not project driven. So often the workshops, we go in with a preconceived idea of what we want to achieve. We work really hard trying to achieve that and then have such disappointment if it doesn't quite work out to be how we expected it to be. This was entirely different. This was all about making samples. And by doing samples, you're learning. Also, by limiting the palette to the black, white, and grey was brilliant, because then we could really study what the fibers were doing, and we could see the white fibers moving through the black fiber to create a grey shadow and vice versa. We could also study the fibers and see how they were interacting with the different resists that we used. We also used things that I had been told previously that you just can't use those for felting, but you can. And what I love most about it is that I've come away with an encyclopedia of felt. I've come away with all of these samples, so I can look back in 10 years' time to think about how do I create that really distinct shape. And I've done my documentation here, so I can reference exactly how I did that. And all of these incredible samples. I've learned to use some materials that I hadn't used before, different types of yarn as resist, but also decorative on the top. As I said, using cotton batting, even cotton fabric, using interfacing. And who would have thought that we could get such incredible texture in felting? So that's using the cotton muslin, and I never thought that this was possible with felting. So this has been a really terrific course. It's good for beginners. I wish I'd done this course early on, because it'll teach you how to make a straight piece of felt. It'll teach you how to make hard felt. It'll teach you how to explore with different resists and study what they do, which will help you in the long term to create your own projects that do exactly what you want them to do. And it'll teach you the value of sampling, which is truly incredible. So Wendy's done a terrific job, and you will simply love the course.